The Bluetti Charger 2 looks like an incredible product, and on paper, this thing solves one of the biggest problems with portable power. Power stations can charge really slow when you're on the go. Most 12-volt car chargers charge at like just over 100 watts. And if you've watched some other people's YouTube videos, everyone seems to love this product. So when Bluetti sent us not one, but two of these chargers to test, we expected this review to be very easy. There was really only one problem, and that is that neither of these worked. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. Now, Bluetti is not the first brand to make an alternator charger, but they are the first brand to make one that works with basically any power station. Now, we have had this thing here at the lab for about 6 months or so. We have given Bluetti ample time to fix the issue that we've been having with it, but at this point, it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, and so we wanna share our experience with you guys, because at this point, this is like prime season to be buying something like this, and we wanna make sure enough people know our experience before going ahead and purchasing one for yourself. As always, we will leave links to this thing as well as any discount codes that we can get in the description down below if you decide it's for you. But before we jump into the spec teardown and get you up to speed on this thing, if you're not already familiar with it, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into our main issue that we are having. So obviously here at the lab, we want to be upfront with you guys, and our experience with this was not all negative, so don't just go ahead and leave yet. We just want to share the core experience with you guys and let you guys make your own decision. We've had a pretty rocky relationship with Bluetti. Our first videos, we were kind of just on them. We didn't really love a lot of their original products, but lately over the last couple years, they have started to turn it around and prove themselves to us on this channel. Basically, this alternator charger is supposed to hook up to your alternator and convert the extra power from your alternator into usable power that you can then use to charge your power station. So this thing's rated to do 800 watts from the alternator of charging power for your power station, and then 600 from solar. You combine them to get a total of 1200, even though that math doesn't actually math, that's where it caps out. But in our experience, just with the alternator side of things, we cannot get it when it's plugged into the alternator, the truck's running. It doesn't matter if there's a million loads running in the vehicle or not. It doesn't matter which vehicle we plug it into. It doesn't matter what battery we plug it into. We've tried just regular batteries on the garage floor. It does not matter what we are doing. This unit will not charge anything past 500 watts. So our biggest problem is just that it's working at like half its rated output capacity, which is obviously a huge buzzkill because you buy it to charge your power station as fast as possible. Now, Bluetti's telling us that it is a software update that is needed for this. We've done everything. We've been through email chains, phone calls with them, trying to figure out why ours will not take a software update, to the point where they actually sent us a second one because they thought maybe the original one just wasn't working right. Same story with this. It won't take an update. We cannot get it to work at all. So now we have two units that do work, but only at about half of their rated output. We have a hunch that it's geographical, like maybe the update just isn't available in certain places, but we don't know what places, and Bluetti doesn't seem to know what places, and they've kind of hit the end of the road of telling us that they don't know how to get us any further. Like they don't know what to do. We can't come up with a solution. Bluetti is still actively trying to figure this out, but that's why we decided to make this video right now, because it's been so long. At this point, we're not sure if anything's gonna happen. If anything does happen in the future, we will 100% make an update video so you guys are aware. But also there's tons of people out there, creators that have this, and it's working just fine. Like I've watched tons of other people's YouTube videos showing it working as advertised. So I know it's not a terrible product. It's just for some reason, we're having a lot of difficulties with ours. We appreciate Bluetti doing everything they can, but at this time, we can't recommend something like this because in our experience, it doesn't work. We're gonna hit you guys with a regular video, get you guys up to speed on the product in case you don't know it, tell you everything we like and all the things we don't like, because at the end of the day, if they could fix this thing with an update, it has potential to be really good. So jumping into it, this thing weighs 3 pounds. It's very light. Sounds like dookie, but that's just because when you don't have all these things tightened down, they're all loose, so ignore that. So this thing is rated to work with 12 or 24 volt batteries. It has a rated output to charge your power station with power from your alternator at 800 watts. It has a solar output, so you can plug solar directly into this thing and then transfer it over to your power station at 600 watts for a combined output of 1200 watts. And basically, if you take a look underneath, you have all your ports to connect it to your alternator, your battery, your solar panels, all that kind of stuff. But to make it make more sense, because basically everything just plugs in with regular cables under there, it it all looks the same. These are what you're working with. So basically you have cables like this where you have your communication, positive and negative. This plugs into the bottom, and then this end goes to your power station. So this is basically the way you would fast charge with a Bluetti product. This is their expansion battery cables. This is how if you had a power station that's compatible, you would plug your expansion batteries into that unit. So that's one of your cables. Another one, this is the one that actually makes it work with any power station. This is the one that goes in your charge port underneath. It's got a positive and a negative as well. And it goes, well, it actually goes to just MC4 adapters, but we have an XT60 plugged in. You can put this into the solar input of any power station. So if you had a Pecron power station that has a solar port on it, you could basically plug these two cables into the charge port in the bottom right here, and this is how you would charge up that Pecron. And that's probably the coolest feature that this thing has. Most alternator chargers like this only have, you know, specialty connections for whatever brand they're meant to work with. This is the first one that we have had that will literally work with any power station that has a solar port. It's got simple slots on the side here, so you could literally just bolt this to the wall of your trailer, RV, the back seat of your Jeep, whatever it is you're trying to do. You have a fan right here on the front, power button on the top to turn it on and off. On the sides, you just have airflow ports. There's nothing special going on here. And then on the bottom, you just have all your connections. So if you had this on the back of a seat like this, you could have all your wires kind of go underneath the seat. It could be super clean, and then they can run and tuck away into your vehicle. You could have it basically permanently installed, and it would look really, really nice. But keep in mind that there's no water rating on this. So it needs to be installed inside of a vehicle. You can't install this like in a flap under your RV that may get wet. You want to make sure that this is in a dry spot. This does work with Bluetti's app, which is nice. You could check on it. You could change a few modes that we'll talk about a little bit later from that app to control exactly what it is that this unit is doing. You can see the input, the output, your solar, all that stuff from the app, which is nice. And right now, with our discount code, this thing is $475, which, if it would work right, would be a great price. So I think one of the coolest things about this unit, other than the fact that you can charge any power station that has a solar port with it, which is obviously like the #1 biggest selling feature in my opinion of this thing, is that it has different modes that you can use from the app. So the first one would obviously be you connect it when your car is running, it takes that extra power from your alternator, sends it to your power station and charges your power station. But if you have it permanently installed, you can also do some pretty cool stuff. You can jumpstart your car from the power that this thing gives. So it'll basically reverse pull power from the unit the power station is plugged into, and it will bump start your car if your battery dies. It also has a battery maintenance mode. So with lead acid batteries, the longer they sit, they tend to sulfate, and then they end up expiring quicker than you would want them to. So something that this does is every once in a while, it'll send a surge of like 100 watts out to your battery for a short amount of time and can just get power flowing in and out of that battery continuously. It's kind of like having it on a trickle charger. And what this does is it just extends the life of whatever it is that it's plugged into. And that's really cool, because if you put this in an RV or like a trailer, something you don't use a lot, assuming you just leave everything permanently running, it can maintain that battery, which is something that most people probably aren't doing. It's probably just docked in your driveway and you're just leaving it there. So that is a really cool bonus. I think the biggest plus to all of this is that if you have this plugged into your power station and you have something in your car like a dash cam or something that's just on that's constantly draining your battery, this thing can basically monitor, if you have it set up to do so and you're willing to lose the power in your power station, that battery charge, and it can make sure your battery never dies. So if you're just sitting in a parking lot for a week and your dash cam's always on and your battery starts to get low, it'll start using the power station's power to power that dash cam to make sure that when you get in the car, your battery still has enough power to actually start your car up and get you on the road. It's also a seamless upgrade. If you have charger 1, you can just unplug everything, plug in charger 2, and it works perfectly. You don't have to go take everything out and reinstall everything. You just install this, it gives you access to more power and a couple more features, which is nice. But overall, this thing, if it worked, would obviously be a huge pro. But I think it is just pretty good. It's simple. It's easy to plug everything into here, tighten it all down and make it work. Like, it's super, super simple. You just pop this little cover off and tighten down some set screws. It's clean. It's logical. Like, everything plugs in real easy. Overall, I think it's just a good, simple product. When it comes to things we don't like about this, other than the fact that we can't update ours, and we've already explained that to you, we're just stuck at a standstill with this thing. The only other part is that there's conflicting information about this that could mislead people if they don't actually have one and have their hands on it. So it's listed that it'll do 800 watts from your alternator and 600 watts from solar. If you put those together, it says you only get a total of 1200. That should be 1400. That should be more. but it's less. So there's obviously a restriction built in, I think. It also says a couple spots that it'll do 800 on their website. There's a couple spots that says it'll do 1,000. There's a couple just like conflicting points of information that I think Bluetti could just tear through their website, their manual, and just make sure that everything is in line with itself. Because even us just trying to do a little bit of research on this product to get going, we were kind of confused as to what it was supposed to do, what we were supposed to expect from it, just based on misinformation, I guess. And the only other thing we could say was like a screen or some sort of indicator lights or something to tell you how your system's functioning would be nice. The only way to monitor what this is doing is through your app. Your app will tell you how much power it's taking or using or sending to your battery or solar's coming into it or whatever it is you're trying to do. But you can't just like open the back of your tailgate and look at it and know what's happening. Your power station might give you a hint, but there's just a power button on this and that's it. So like a small screen or some lights, or even like the Bluetti fridge power has that screen you can buy that you can pair to it. Something like that with this would be sweet if you had it in an RV and it was built in way in the back and you couldn't get to it easily. To have a little screen that you could charge up and put somewhere you can see to monitor what this is doing would even be pretty cool. So at the end of the day, who is this thing for? Right now I would say nobody. Because obviously it's not working properly and I wish it was. If by chance Bluetti updates this, we figure it out, this thing is great for someone who lives in a van or who has an RV or even someone who just goes overland and camping, that kind of stuff frequently. And if you just put this in the back of your vehicle and have a power station there and you're moving from campsite to campsite and you're off-roading for 4 hours, you could fully charge your power station in that journey from one place to the next place. Outdoor enthusiast that just does stuff outside, there's probably a huge benefit to you if you also own a power station. We'll keep you guys posted if anything changes with this. We will leave links and stuff down below. We'll also leave links to the EcoFlow one and the ones that we actually do like, as well as discount codes for those to save you money if you're interested in those. Otherwise, that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.